jQuery makes it easy to work with HTML, to read and manipulate the DOM. So easy that developers are led to use the DOM for state. State is the current condition of the site. It's how your program keeps track of stuff. Which button is selected? Is the modal open? Has the request finished loading? All these questions are being asked about the site's state. Let's look at an example. It's a simple modal. Clicking a button toggles the modal open or closed, and it toggles the text of the button from View More when closed to Close when open. In the JS, we determine the state of the modal, whether it's open or closed, by checking if its element has the class isOpen. And it works. So what's the issue? When working with jQuery, you can get into a jQuery mindset. You start thinking of all of programming in jQuery terms. Get elements and do something with them. But jQuery exists within JavaScript, a programming language that has its own lower level concepts. We can use these concepts to write better code with jQuery. The issue with checking the class is that we don't need to read the DOM to know what the state is. Our program can keep track of its own state. We can do this with a variable. At the top, let's add a variable, isModalOpen, and set it to false. Within the click event callback function, we'll switch isModalOpen to its opposite, false to true or true to false. That's what the exclamation point is for. Now our program knows if the modal is open or not, so we can use the variable within the conditional. Nice! By adding a state variable, we have removed a check from the DOM. We have abstracted the behavior out of the HTML, so our JavaScript is more flexible. But more importantly, you can start to grasp the potential of using variables to keep track of stuff. Or not. So we added a variable, but the code is actually longer, and it functionally works exactly the same. Is that really an improvement? Let's look at another example. This time, we're not just dealing with a simple on-off switch, but multiple values. This example has several buttons. Clicking a button adds a color class, which changes the color of several elements with CSS. Because this example uses CSS to change color, it needs to remove any previous color class. Currently, the previous class is removed by removing all potential color classes. Functionally, this code works just fine, but it's duplicating the HTML. This is a problem. Any change in the colors in the HTML means you have to make a similar change in the JavaScript. Having the colors hard-coded in JS also means that the code can't easily be reused in another place for another potential set of colors and swatches. Let's add a variable to keep track of the selected color. We'll declare the variable selected color at the top, then use it to remove the previous class. Then update selected color from the element in the event, and finally use the updated value to add the clicked color class. Now this code has no reference to the colors used in the HTML. You can add, remove, and change the colors in the HTML, and the JS code will work just the same. That's what state variables are all about. They allow you to keep your HTML structure out of your JavaScript. So you can think of the JavaScript just as its behavior, not as the content it works with. As you continue to write JavaScript and jQuery, keep an eye out for these two ideal opportunities to use variables: checking the DOM if an element has a class, and removing all possible classes from an element. These are simple examples, but their lessons are important. Up until now, you likely have thought of writing JavaScript in terms of what's on the page. By using variables, you're opening a new door in understanding JavaScript. It's not just what's on the page, but what's inside your program. This video was made by Fizzy. Fizzy is my little company where I make powerful and easy-to-use plugins for the web. Plugins include Isotope for filtering and sorting lists, Flickety for responsive carousels, and Packery for draggable grids. If you make websites, don't reinvent the wheel when Fizzy already has you covered. Try out the plugins for yourself at metafizzy.co. This video is part of Fizzy School, a series of lessons in JavaScript for anyone learning jQuery. Links for the lesson page and the CodePen demos are in the description. Go to fizzy.school for all the lessons and keep learning.